We're back, KWAU Track and Field, and we have some special guests in the house. We have Mrs. Evelyn Lewis and Mrs. Freddie George, sisters and track legendary legends here in Willingboro Track Club. Well, we're going to start off with Mrs. Lewis. She's the mother of track. How you doing, Mrs. Lewis?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Well, for most of you who don't know, Mrs. Lewis was a former athlete before she came here to Willingboro. She competed in the 1951 Pan American Games and also qualified for the 1952 Olympics. Before she came here to Willingboro, she also coached. She coached in Alabama. And so that's the part of the history that we want to get known to a lot of people out there because, you know, she had this great history with her and Mr. Lewis. When she came down here along with her sister, Freddie George, they came here as educators, and then they wanted to instill track and field as part of the education. So, Mrs. Lewis, you have 4 incredible kids. You want to name the kids that you have?
Let me see, which way do I start? The oldest is Mackie, William Lewis, and Mackie probably competed with some of you here at Kennedy. And he is now living in Houston. He still runs and rides bike quite a bit. The second one is Cleveland, and Cleveland looked at track and he was rather good, but he preferred soccer. And he played professional soccer with was drafted by the New York Cosmos, and then he went on to play Memphis and Houston. The third one is Frederick, and well, let me just go on and call him Carl. But anyway, I think most of you know the history of Carl, so I'm not going to belittle him, but I will also, his sister Carol, they were both track and field, and they competed internationally. Carol 3 Olympic teams and Carl 5 Olympic teams. And that just about use your imagination for any other parts of their story.
And Mrs. Lewis was also married to Bill Lewis, who she met in college. And both of them came down here on, I guess from family, right? Whose sister brought you down here?
She's sitting right here beside
Freddie George. Miss Freddie George. That's where she comes in. Miss Freddie George, I'm going to let you do the talking as an educator. When did you get down here in Willingboro? And when did you start teaching?
Okay, I started in Willingboro in 1962. I started as an elementary teacher, and the pay was good. I only had a Bachelor of Science degree then, and Evelyn was living in Birmingham, Alabama, and I was making $57,000 a year. She was making something like 40 or 30. So I said, why don't you?
42.
She was making 42. So I said, well, why don't you come up here, because you have a master's degree already, and I have a Bachelor of Science degree. And I said, the schools are good. And what's so good about it is that I was one of the first blacks to be hired here in Willingboro, because when I came to apply for a job, they were, the Supreme Court was deciding whether they were going to let blacks move into the community or not. So while that was happening, I started subbing at one of the elementary schools. There was only 5 there then. And I started subbing there, and I must have looked pretty good because they sent me a contract, and I don't even know about the contract. I mean, I didn't even go for an interview. I haven't been for an interview yet.
Well, we're going to get right back into the coaching element of it. 1978, They opened up the girls programs for the Willenboro High School, and both of them came in and did a spectacular job. I think you guys won like 5 state championships in a period of, what, 6 years or so? I'll start with you, Mrs. Lewis, if you want to name some of the highlights that you had with the girls program.
The girls program was wonderful, and the reason that I was interested in girls was because I had been a participant, and it was a very valuable learning experience for me. I started in Willenboro here at Kennedy in 1963, teaching physical education and health. Now, from 1963 to 1978, I put in a petition for girls' track because they did not have it. And every year, I would ask for girls' track. Try to give them reasons that girls should have, because boys had a track and they were doing very well. And finally, in 1978, they gave us a girls' track team. They went undefeated. However, the little bit of help came from the Willenboro Track Club, because they didn't let us have the girls. Then I started the club for girls. And of course, the guys were jealous, so we let them come in. And we worked with that club until to get more knowledge about track to the youngsters, and of course, they did very well.
Well, I got one question I want to ask you because I'm from Kennedy, and I know Mr. Lewis went here. So when y'all first started out and y'all had y'all first battles, who pretty much won on y'all first dual meet? I'm asking that for Mr. Lewis.
Well, since I went undefeated, I think I
won. Well, here you have it, and look here for more information. You can check us out at 1-855-777-KWAU. And for more information, you can also look at Facebook at facebook.com/KWAU Track and Field. We'll be back with some more track and field.